It's super unfortunate. Oh, I didn't set that up. Oh, maybe no. Would it? No, because I have everybody muted off Discord.
So it just has you?
No, it doesn't even have me. That's a bummer. Work, but the audio quality is going to be bad. Alright, sorry anybody who's watching this, the audio quality is going to be garbage. So. Alright. Ooh. I'll figure that out for next week for sure. So, yeah, you're going to research your crystal spiders. You're going to... What else we got going on this week? Going to research your diamonds that we just picked up. Let's go to our guilds, and then we'll get back to your visitor who's going to show up soon. Not a special guest though. So back up in the Illinois guild, Cadmus has sent you a message, and he basically you can almost see him scratching his head as he talks to us. He's like, so I have these dragon eggs. What do you want me to do with those?
I can pop over there and get it and come back with you.
We need to. Do we know what color they are?
Copper.
Copper.
We need to. I would guess we should probably contact the shepherd. Is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
We can't contact him directly, but we can contact people who can contact him. Is that what it was?
Correct.
So let's
because we did not talk to his brain. He didn't like.
Yeah. So let's contact him. However that happens, and just let him know. Ask him what he wants with them.
Okay.
Because I imagine that we probably shouldn't hold on to these things for any kind of extended period of time.
Correct.
Because whoever stole them probably wants to steal them again.
No, he's dead. The blue dragon.
Yeah.
He got these from the dead blue dragon.
Right, but the blue dragon, it wasn't his idea to steal it in the first place.
It could have been. Blue dragons are rather smart, crafty.
Not from what the shepherd.
Oh yeah, right. There's a bigger entity doing things.
Yeah.
True story. So, all right. You tell Cadmus to hold on. You'll get back to him. You send out a message to certain channels to get to the shepherd. An hour later, Cadmus calls back, and he's like completely unraveled. And he's what he asks what you did. He's kind of in a panic.
He calls back.
He contacts you guys back, and he's just a mess. Apparently, he was in the middle of doing some things, he says, and a silver woman showed up in the middle of his bedroom, and he.
Oh, that's a mood killer.
And he and demanded that he turn over the eggs. After a brief conversation, he said that you would recognize the name Vastya, and he forked the eggs over after she proved her credentials, and she left almost.
Her credentials? How about you just show up in her bedroom? In his bedroom, this is credentials enough.
So he's.
I like the idea that she showed him her real face in the bedroom.
He said it was not a pleasant experience. he did.
So, upon hearing that, I'm going to send a message to her since we've met her, and just be like, could you be a little nicer next time?
You hear no.
Just leave it at that.
No.
That's all I get back is no.
Yep. So that's been handled. Other things that go on with him, he has gotten no new contracts necessarily. He keeps getting offers that he thinks are jobs. When they go to investigate the jobs, the people just want to meet the guys who killed the dragon.
Well, that's dumb. They need to start hurting people when that happens.
No. Tell him.
Are they paying?
Yeah. Tell him to start doing conventions.
Rudy is way ahead of everybody on that, and he is now organizing Blue Dragon Con, where everybody can get together and see the Blue Dragon, and he's even promised some cool other things.
Yeah, excellent.
Nice.
Yep.
Yep. Love it. So let's see. And I think that's all the side stuff we're going to do tonight because we're a little... I want to get to our main story stuff. We'll revisit the ancient treasures and the river monster next week.
And the ruined outpost.
Yeah, and the ruined outpost. Actually, you
describe-
guys might get a little bit more of that because I'm assuming somebody said they were going to go grab Ziz on their way to the Hive.
I think we need to
I said,
first.
Yeah.
talk to him because I'm pretty sure, like, I think if we asked him, he wouldn't go. I mean, I guess I would, if he wants to come, I would like him to come, but I thought he was of the mindset that he was never going back there. Like, it was too much of a dishonor for him to go back.
That's kind of what I had gotten the impression as well.
So, like, if he wants to come, that's fine,
Mhm.
but I'm thinking his answer will be, I'm not coming.
Okay.
But I did want to talk to him for information.
We will find out. Before we head off to him, though, and to get on with tonight's actual adventure, is there anything else you guys want to do before that happens?
Mike, I just wanted to clarify, what did we say was the dice for the dual-wielding glaives?
They're whatever your glaive halberd is.
You had said, from what I remember, that it was D10, but you got to...
Still a D10?
You couldn't use a bonus action.
Yeah, I have that down. I just didn't. Okay, then I didn't put down what the bonus damage.
It was just the 2d10 for your attack.
Yes.
2d10, but you said each attack inflicts an extra damage dice. What did we say that was?
No. You were just attacking with both
Yes.
glaives, which is a d10 for each blade.
You sacrifice your bonus action, and basically your attacks get double dice.
So I'm just doing 2d10 now.
Yep.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, that's the way I decided to work it out, rather than have a slew of extra attacks.
I'm good.
Cool. All right. Well, nothing else. You guys head off down the road. Your new road.
Did we use the ambassador?
Oh no, you didn't. I'm really sorry. That's super important too. Where is that? So you get told while you're dealing with one of the things that you have going on that you have a visitor, and it is an ambassador from the order. It is actually a high priest from the order. His name is Aloysius Gonzaga. And so he's been taken to one of the side chambers in your keep, a meeting room that you keep. It's fairly formal. You go in to meet this guy, and you're really shocked when you meet him. He's a kid. He's maybe 17. Looking at him, he's a human. He is extraordinarily young. And he introduces himself. He's like, I am Aloysius Gonzaga. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you.
He's like, Mavamid Granaback. We hear a lot about you back at Unity. I'm sad I never got to meet you during your training.
The feeling is mutual.
You would have heard of this guy. You didn't remember his name, but you heard about the kid who became a high priest. He's basically a hyper intelligent and extraordinarily wise. Some people would say he's gifted. Just in a lot of areas, but he has knowledge beyond his years, and nobody can quite peg it.
Okay.
But nobody really referred to him by name. They all just called him the Kid Priest, and it's all kind of adding up in your head now.
His name's not Baby Yoda.
So he says, "Now I have to tell you, I'm very interested in what happened here with the Black Axe estate. Tell me, what do you know of it?
Matt will explain everything that we kind of know about it.
He stands there. He's like, may I inconvenience you slightly?
It depends on what you're looking to do.
I would like to cast a zone of truth.
Sure, go for it.
Very good. So, he goes to cast the zone of truth. Does anybody want to... I mean, you could choose to fail the saving throw. You don't have to make it.
There's a part
I'm making sure I don't suck it up.
Oh.
There's a part of me that is like, the only zone of truth dwarves need is some good ale. But I don't know if you're old enough for that.
He's like, I do not imbibe anyways. It dulls my senses terribly.
Drinking the wrong stuff.
Is any...
That's the point.
Tony, are you trying to resist the spell?
Yes.
Okay, but you have failed.
Jeffrey does not like being honest.
Okay. He's like, can you tell me, do you know Samuel Kane?
We don't know her by that name, do we?
He would see the confused look on your faces, and he'd say, Saint Kane. Sorry.
Yeah, we met a few times.
What were your impressions?
She's freaking awesome.
What level is Zone of Truth? The second level?
It's a second level.
Probably would say something like she's a, scary woman, not in the sense of like,
No,
like
definitely a scary woman. Like,
Yeah.
it's enough to do that.
like she's scary. Yeah,
He smiles. He's like,
scary but cool. So
I can see why some people would find her intimidating. I find her problematic. She
Deep that the truth.
doesn't...
It's part of her charm. Leave her alone.
is that Matt talking or Gabriel talking?
She doesn't play by the rules often. What do you know of her garden?
We don't talk about her garden.
We
That was the easier.
I don't know how much we actually know about the garden.
A bit.
Stones.
Magda.
Magda.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so I wouldn't have a problem telling him what we know.
Okay.
But I don't know how much we actually know.
He says, would you be surprised to know that she has consorted with hags and other powerful entities? Even
I
allied?
don't think we are, because we know she dealt with the our map.
Yeah. He says, yes, we're aware. She's missing. And he gets a look on his face, and you can tell, like, the Zone of Truth did not like the word missing. We believe she has struck a deal in hell.
Isn't that the only thing that happens there?
You'd be surprised.
What kind of deal?
We're unsure. And at first it seemed one that was beneficial to some others that she was redeeming, but as time has gone on and the current crises have increased, we have worries. Tell me, do you know of the Black Soul Blade?
I mean, we just killed a few.
Yes.
Trying to steal a book.
Yes, you did.
We don't want that.
Well, I mean, not all of them, just a few of them. All of them that were present at the time. Plus one poor soul. Just minding your own business.
Yep. And he says, their entire organization is based off of impersonation and deceit on those that they have wounded or murdered. We have become increasingly concerned that St. Kane's garden and perhaps herself have been compromised. Maybe even others on the Isle of Unity themselves. There is no way to detect whether or not someone has been duplicated. It is.
No ways.
Is this? Shoot, I can't really. I mean, that's something that we don't know about. Like we know about it as players, but not as characters.
But yeah, but what's your question? Maybe there's a way to frame it.
I was gonna ask like if this is the sort of duplication like a simulacrum.
You would have heard of certain types of things. I don't know if Othig would have necessarily.
I think I would.
Yeah.
In combination with the Mage's Tower.
I'm just thinking if that's the duplication that's being talked about, or if it's a more supernatural. Not that that's not supernatural, but you know what I'm saying, like a more supernatural from the hells kind of duplication.
Snow-based.
Supernatural versus arcane.
He says.
Yeah.
And so you start to ask him about that. He's like, no, it's much more deep in the way they do things. Would you like a demonstration of how powerful it is? He casts a spell.
Of course you would say yes.
He points a finger, and you see a ring on his finger flare very brightly, and he casts a spell directly at Jeffrey.
I would like to not have that happen.
This does not have a save. And you watch as Jeff's body begins to transform into 16, 17 different figures. And then he collapses to the ground.
So Matt's going to turn away from Jeffrey for a moment and look at the High Priest and ask him how we would know that he's not a member of the Black Soul Blades.
That's a good question.
I'm just going to ask real quick if he's okay.
If who's okay?
Jeff just kind of kicked at Jeffrey.
On the ground.
Oh, he says, that's not your friend. Let me show you your friend. And he claps his hands a few times, and a winged man with Jeffrey standing next to him appears. There is a presence about this being that has shown up in your room that is so powerful you are tempted to bow down to him. Meanwhile, the man who was just transformed into 16, 17 different people out of who Jeffrey was is about to try and scramble out of the room. And you see the High Priest point at him and mumble a different spell, and he starts running and just kind of freezes in place, but he's in a very awkward step position, so he kind of topples over and it's like doom 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 on the ground like a log.
Are you telling us that it wasn't Jeff?
This
or
one is
did
not.
You just do something to exchange Jeff?
No. He goes on to explain to you that in the course of your fight in Chamsburg, Jeffrey was transported when he was stabbed into a demiplane prison, where he met the celestial being that is standing next to him, who is being used as a conduit to funnel magical power here to Talist. The Order had mounted a rescue expedition once they had realized that their missing Celestials were being used in a manner, and found Jeffrey and this Celestial imprisoned together.
How long has this been going on?
Since your fight with the Black Soul Blades, and the one stabbed Jeff and became Jeff.
Yeah, since our last session.
Oh.
Okay, guys, so we don't know Jeff anything anymore.
And meanwhile, real Jeff is like, guys, you didn't notice?
Real Jeff with the Celestial has been vetted at the highest level.
They touched me in places I've never been touched before.
Jeff, you
I'm a little jealous.
actually met a man who introduced himself to you as the Martyr.
Oh. wow.
My wife is standing next to me with such a disapproving look.
I watched her walk up, and the way she took her stance on the side, it was definitely disapproving Crystal stance.
I didn't realize she was in the room.
And then slowly walks away from you. I could tell by her walk how disappointed she was.
Why is she disappointed?
Because I said something inappropriate.
Yep. So Jeff, you had a conversation with the martyr.
That's terrifying.
You were very terrified. You would have been.
Do I feel different?
You're really impressed with him and how he was not at all what you expected he was. It took you about a half an hour of talking to him to figure out who he was.
Right. So I feel like I had my Saul moment.
No. You honestly don't remember a lot of it. You remember how things flowed and ended, but trying to draw up specifics is really difficult. So then Aloysius tells you that very few people know what he has just shared with you. Because the upper echelons of the order are very concerned that it has been compromised.
Has the order been compromised, or
The order itself has been compromised by the Black Soul Blade style imposters.
there has to be a way to figure. There's magics that deal with doppelgangers.
Well, how did he know that the Jeffrey that we thought we had was one of them?
That spell was completely rigged and prepared for that being and that being alone. Because they knew, because they had they had real Jeff.
Okay. So that was the only way that they knew.
I mean, this sounds great, and it's wonderful that you brought Jeff back, and wonderful that you
Wonderful is a strong word.
took care of fake Jeff. But in all reality, if you can't figure this out, what are we supposed to do?
They're looking for allies that they know are not compromised.
I just want to go back. Where did they say that they found Jeff in the Celestial?
And you chose us?
Right.
He would smirk at that and clarify the concept of compromise that they know are not doppelgangers. Yep. That have shown vested interest in protecting the world from them.
Ryan, did he answer your question?
I'm sorry.
No, they found them where?
In a prison, in a demi-plane.
Okay, in a prison in a demi-plane.
Yep.
How do
You know, where Gabriel threw his body to grow.
What the heck is that?
So
Okay.
it's a complicated explanation, but he basically would tell you that Celestials have been being kidnapped while they're on Earthbound missions and being turned into batteries to fuel the cult's power.
It's the Matrix, man.
Now that the Order is aware that this is happening, they've been able to locate some of them, but not all of them. And Jeffrey just happened to be in a place where they were located.
What would they? What would they have us do? What did he have us do?
He says nothing at the moment, but he's hoping when he needs it, he can call
He wants
it.
allies. He wants to know that he has someone in his corner.
Yep.
I would ask him, since we're in the zone of truth, is this shepherd one of your allies?
He says absolutely. And then he pauses. He says as long as it fits his own agenda, but at this point in time our agendas match.
Could I?
He would never count him an enemy, though. He would clarify that.
Could I mention the queen? What's her name?
Labyrinth.
Yeah, I don't know. Do we know her actual name?
She did give it to you. I don't remember it off the top of my head.
But would we be able to? I would attempt to mention her
Mhm.
as soon as you said, "What about the shepherd?" I would say, "Also, what about the queen?"
He would look at you.
I don't know if I'd even be able to say it though.
He would look at you and he would see that you can't talk about what you want to talk about, and he would say, if you're speaking of a being in the manner I think you're speaking of, then yes. We would qualify them as allies as well.
Wow.
But he can't get details from you.
Okay.
He can get details from.
Like from what Thanak tries to explain,
Yeah,
because
he
it comes.
can get details from Thanak, but is he also in the same position where he can't give details?
Yes, exactly.
Holy cow. Okay.
Yeah, she's
He's experiencing the exact same thing that we experienced.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he also said them as in multiple.
He did.
Yeah, we only know the
She
one.
wasn't alone as well.
Yeah.
She told us that she wasn't alone.
Well, I don't mean that we didn't know that she wasn't alone, but we can't seem to talk about. He seemed to come across it like it was a group, as in like there are different ones, and they are all our allies. But maybe I'm just misreading that.
Maybe he just didn't want to gender her.
There are certain things of the conversation that you're able to get out with him that you can't normally get out with others, so you realize that if you're in the know of both things, you can talk about it. And he's a
Because we're only privy to
Yep.
partial.
Yep.
Okay.
And so he extrapolates pretty quickly that you're talking about sphinxes, and that there are multiple of them globally.
Okay.
And they are considered among your allies. And he would qualify that again, saying yes, but they do, by their nature of creation, have their own agendas.
Sure.
But they're not enemies.
But their agendas don't run.
Yeah, they might not rally together all the time, but in this specific instance, they are. But they're never enemies.
Correct.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
Own vested interests, but in this particular instance, everyone's interests are.
I feel like this. I was just gonna say, I feel like this is one of those things where, like, I think we should just attempt to talk, like, out in the open about the sphinxes at all times, just to see who we can. What, you know what I'm doing?
And the rest of the time we'll just look like fumbling idiots.
That's really funny.
Meanwhile,
That's great. That's super great.
Ask just because Jeff thinks it's funny at the moment. How do you feel about squid faces?
Are you gonna ask him about that?
Yeah, I am. How do you feel about them?
The Illithid are a force to be reckoned with that have long stood in opposition to everything the Maker cares about. However, at this time, their culture is also hard pressed by the cultic invasion. So they are definitely not allies, nor are they congruent in goals, but they are fighting their own fights.
Noted.
And then he says, and your squid ship is fine.
I was ready for that. What about the smoke butter factory? Because I'm actually more back at
He says, the what?
Wow, you almost had that all over you.
I love the idea that he knows about Bowser Rule, but not.
Here's the reasoning. Well, he would just assume that the factory is some sort of smelting factory. You're dwarves.
Right.
He would just assume that. Smoke powder is not a thing on this planet yet. Illithids and their vehicles are fairly well documented in ancient history. It would not have occurred to him that you have an explosives factory a half mile down the road.
No, we got.
allies. Constantly do this to you.
Yeah.
So even in smoke powder, he would assume it would be some sort of flash, powder, smoke covering thing. It's the concept of explosives is not going to enter into his mind unless you encourage it to be there.
Unless you encourage it to enter his mind. Yeah, shut up.
Smoke powder in his mind.
What about the smoke powder? Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! What? Nothing.
While we're in the zone of truth, mind you.
Actually, he wouldn't even know that.
No, Jeffrey would not know that.
Jeffrey wouldn't even. He wouldn't.
He has no idea. The man still in hold person laying on your floor knows about it.
Yeah. I'll just be like, you need to make sure you kill that guy quick.
Oh, they're going to.
When they make a duplicate.
The Celestial looks at you, and it's the first time he speaks. He says, "I'll be taking that one with me."
Just don't listen to anything he says. He's crazy.
He might still tell him. Yeah, I actually purged a gift that they have about the great job he was doing in this factory. 2 weeks.
Tony, you were about to ask me about the Black Soul Blades?
When they make a duplicate, does that duplicate have all of our thoughts, memories, and things?
No. They have enough to make a plausible attempt at who you are. They definitely pick up on personality traits, but like in some deeper memories, like if somebody was to question him about your family relations, he'd be able to easily bluff his way through that. And those who knew you would have been like, well, you didn't tell it quite like that last time, but that makes sense.
Gotcha. Okay. Minor inconsistencies.
Yeah. So they gather a good deal of information, but only while they hold that form. If they switch to a new form, they lose it.
So Jeffrey's a bard. This sounds similar to the College of Whispers. Is there any correlation between the two?
The magics are definitely similar, but they're distinct enough to be unique. The Black Soul, but
so reaching out to the college may benefit us.
To what college?
The College of Whispers. I assume it's an actual college.
No, it's not. It's more of a school that bards loosely affiliate with.
I was really hoping there was actually.
No,
Okay.
there are no actual bardic schools. Well, I mean there are a few, but they don't separate themselves into like Hufflepuffs and Slytherins and. Yeah. Aloysius would tell you that it's definitely more of a fiendish. It's more akin to warlockism than it is bardic stuff.
So with that, this kid's real smart. He's real young.
Yeah.
I'd like to ask him why. Why he's so much more advanced.
He says he was born gifted, and then he was involved in an accident.
Okay. I've been in a few. None of them gave me super smart.
Tell us more.
Make a persuasion check.
All
See
right.
how much this guy likes you.
Cruise to it.
I also feel like this is the equivalent of like asking a girl why she's so pretty.
Did somebody else skill persuasion? I don't remember.
No.
This wouldn't be a type of persuasion you get an advantage on.
Okay.
That's still
I'll take that.
that's a great Jeff roll. So you ask him, and he says he doesn't normally talk much about this. However, when he was young, due to his giftedness, he was taken across the seas to the country of Zeist, where there is an ancient library where knowledge that predates contemporary civilization still exists. Among them, it's only children who are born with his gifts are taken there. Typically, they are never seen again. His library was destroyed, and in order order to preserve as much knowledge as they could, the Keepers magically infused it into him before they shoved him through a convergence to your world.
Well, frick. Okay.
The Celestial looks at him and says, "You sure you should have said all that?"
Speaking of the Celestial,
Yeah.
would do we know do we know what he is other than just a Celestial?
No, as far as you guys know, he's an angel.
I think Anik would definitely ask him, almost not in like a rude way, but definitely like a without manners, like just out of pure, straight curiosity.
He would inform me that he's like, we go by a lot of names. You could call me a seraphim. You could call me a planer. He would say yes.
What I wanna ask him, but I don't know. Part of this is me being curious for an answer, but I don't know if I would put this together. But the question is whether or not he would have any insight to the Dwarven Kingdom that we found, or not found, but why they seem to have two separate histories, but the same belief style. If he knows anything about them.
Jeff, whatever you typed came out as complete gibberish.
Oh, you don't know halfling?
Apparently I don't. As the GM, I don't know halfling.
Wait, the first one or the second one?
The second one.
The second one wasn't me.
The second one was me. I clicked on it and I moved off of it and I copied it, but it says it's from Jeffrey Goodmark, which is not my icon.
Oh, that's really funny.
That's what they see if they don't know the language.
Okay, got it. But that's really funny. Stop.
But that one didn't copy the name.
Yeah.
Whatever. He would tell you yes, and that's all I'm allowed to tell you.
Who are you answering with that?
Yeah, were you answering me or
Thanak.
Jeff?
The Celestial would tell you yes. He would tell you that it's a complicated matter, but suffice it to say that some things, in order to become relevant again, need to be discovered.
Is there anything you can do to help us protect our crews?
This is a mortal responsibility.
Okay. Is he an immortal?
He's a Celestial.
Yeah, he's not
I don't get that, John.
Not being possessed by other things.
Hey, excuse me, I wasn't possessed. I was replaced. And it just goes to show that you guys don't respect me.
Completely.
You replaced me, and it didn't take much.
Phil, I'm sorry.
Another me. Just another me that I'm replaced.
We like to hear all those.
So Aloysius.
That's how we should have known that he was fake.
Oh, you suck.
Aloysius.
Sorry, was the yes to? I don't remember asking a yes or no question.
You asked. You asked.
We knew anything about the.
So yes, he does know anything, but he can't give it to us.
Yes, that's it. Aloysius wants to know if there's anything else you would need of him. This trip was mostly to return Jeffrey to you, inform you of a problem, and look forward to future assistance.
He'll let us know.
He will let you know.
Contact us.
He does tell you to not trust anyone.
Even you?
He would say, if I'm not in, then he'd look up at the Celestial, adequate company. No.
And he
What about the Emperor? Can I trust him?
And he looks back at you as the Celestial starts to drag the frozen man across the floor, and he says, "You should trust no one." And then they disappear.
What about a dragon? Can we just give the dragon the eggs to the black slime plant?
That was a question that I was wondering. Are they only able to replicate humans, or are things that are outside of
Humanoids.
Humanoids only?
They have to qualify as a humanoid. Yep.
So they can't. The Celestials can't like just tell, but they have a process that is probably because you had said that Jeff was vetted.
Yes.
So they have a process, but is it just assumed that it's too lengthy and inefficient?
Jeffrey would be able to tell you it is to take them to Celestia. And the presence of being on that plane reveals their true nature.
Okay.
The transformation is so complete that it will even mask their alignment.
We have some kobolds that should go with them as well. We just want to double check. Doing some background check services started.
Here's the deal. If a kobold starts to act funny, we'll just kill it.
Here's an odd question for the Celestial.
Okay. I can still answer a few more. Yeah. But they're going to leave soon.
Yeah, that's fine. But based on him saying that they take him to Celestia, and this is with Adam's knowledge, but I assume Thanik would have an idea of this anyways. Spells like Hollow and that actually like bless the ground and bless like large areas.
Yeah.
Would it be possible to make an area of land here on Talos function enough in similarity to cause the same kind of effect?
Possible, not probable.
Yeah, not the grand effect.
I think that's more on their end.
Hey, Matt. Offer this guy a contract.
That pulls out a contract.
The Celestials do not sign contracts. Yeah.
So I think the only other question I have is, if their body is the thing that is manipulated, would their soul or their mind be something that could be checked? Because I feel like in Celestia it's the soul that is viewed.
There is.
If we were able to remove the soul from the body, could we then identify it?
Maybe.
Yeah.
That's
not normally their gig. But
right, because Celestials usually won't do that, but have little hindrance.
I was gonna say we can do that all day long. Kill people all the time.
Don't seem to love doing it and making it friggin' fossil fuels.
Oh, they're not a fan of that.
I had a feeling.
Yeah, but that wasn't the question of whether or not they approved.
Specifically referencing the spell Soul Cage.
Oh, that.
It does require you to kill somebody, but if you do off somebody and harness them in a soul cage.
In that particular instance, he would continue to mimic whoever they took.
Oh, dang.
The transformation is designed to almost completely circumvent all contemporary magic.
Okay.
Man's only other question would be, is there something we can do to create like a code word to let us each other know that we're not possessed?
He says,
yeah, like is there like a mark or something?
There's a good chance that whoever was duplicated would learn it.
Is there a way
because you said even like knowledge is just something that's automatically replicated.
You said that they got like basic family. They can answer questions about basic family stuff and.
Yep.
Okay.
It's that would have a very limited window of success.
Is there a way to protect against it happening in the first place?
Don't get stabbed.
That
Don't get stabbed by a black soul blade.
Sure.
that they're working on counters to that, and always have been. The problem is the cult finds ways to counter the counter. It is a constant war of give and take with these guys.
What we need to do is we need to create some platform, send them out in our place.
But he does tell you, like, somebody joked about it while you were saying the best way to not deal with this is to not get stabbed.
Just not get stabbed, yeah.
Don't get eliminated.
The Black Soul Blades, the ones that we fought, they use daggers, right?
Mm-hmm. That's an elongated dagger. It's almost the size of a short sword.
Is that the only weapon that does that? Is that exclusive to that?
Yes.
Or would it be any like somebody with an axe?
Nope. He would tell you that they exclusively operate with those daggers. They're vicious. They do more damage than normal, and their original soul is bound into that weapon.
Okay, so if we see somebody with that dagger, that's when our
Senses go up.
Yep.
Okay.
That's if once those come out, you definitely do that. However, many of their weapons are further enchanted past that, and some of them use a glamour style enchantment to look like other items.
So what happens if that weapon shatters?
The Black Soul Blade dies. When Mav sucked the power out of all of them, they all died.
What kind of effect? This is almost for Matt, but what kind of effect did that have on the rest of us when he sucked? Was that a pain?
in your inner self?
What?
He gave you tingling in your inner self.
Well, I just mean, was that an aimed thing, or was it just like an area of effect that you just pulled in?
It's a very selected thing.
At the time, absolutely no idea.
Yeah.
Wing
I just mean, is that something where if you just, like, if you did that right now, would that only affect those people, or would it affect everybody in the area?
It's something that Andy and I have not had a chance to talk about, but it is a area of effect that is, you can basically bubble people out of it.
Okay.
So, yeah. But
Fair enough.
as the Discord thing said, it runs very, very high risk.
Alright.
every combat.
I mean, he's gonna do it every combat anyways. I have 4 hit points left. No hit dice.
I may suck up the world.
Yeah. I'm gonna do it. Alright.
Okay. So, yeah, I'm glad you guys totally remember the ambassador. I definitely wanted you to meet Aloysius and give Jeff back.
Yeah, because I would have been fast.
It would have been fun.
He didn't even know I stole him. And because there wasn't any time he was going to have to play a doppelganger, I thought it would be more fun to inform him during game than to let him know off the side. So, you guys head out towards the dig site and collect Ziz on your way to the Hive Spire. For expediency's sake, let's see. How do you want to explain it to him? There's a couple of ways we could do this. Comprehend language seems to work somewhat with him, but Rory's telepathic bond, as Tony's waving at me, I think that has been more effective. So
now that I've, because last time I saw him, he was just kind of like a weird language thing.
Mm-hmm.
With my telepathy, has that changed at all, or is that?
Yeah, you would be much better at picking up on his idiosyncrasies and his intentions, because that's something you guys notice when telepathic bond has gone up when he's with you, is that, like, when you guys use telepathic bond to send messages to each other, it comes across almost like you're talking to one another. When Ziz does it, it is a very alien form of communication that you still know exactly what he's trying to communicate to you, but it's like you can almost smell and see him moving in your head and hear the buzzing of his wings. And you would hear all that insight and smell that type of release in your mind, but at the same time it would translate into what he's communicating to you. So it is a very strange experience. So even without telepathic bond, Thanok, that's some of what you pick up with him. And so if it's not up, you'd have a much better shot at communicating to him. And that was kind of hinted at with comprehend languages. It's just now more compounded.
Sure. Okay.
So you get out there, you ask him some questions. Like, what do you want to ask him? You don't know much about what's going on.
Yeah, I think we would tell him, like, basically why we're going out there and try to just ask him, you know, what do you think based on what we know, what we could expect, and do you want to come with?
He would communicate that he will lead you there, but he like he's told you before, he can't and doesn't want to go back.
Okay, and I kind of knew that, so I don't want it to be in like a disrespectful way, like, because I figured that he wouldn't want to go, but
no, so. And it's really funny because he and who else is out there? It's Ziz and Sodak, and who else is with them? There's somebody else. I don't remember who it is.
Because she has Move Earth.
Yes, yeah. Move Earth. Ziz and Sodak have definitely developed a palliness to them.
I think More Brummy was out there too.
Maybe. I definitely remember Tabby being there now that you say that.
I'm pretty sure there was 3.
Yeah, I think it was just 3. Where, like, they play a game of catch the bug. And Sodak is just completely amused by this. And Ziz has figured out he can get him to dig really quickly by burying himself in the sand and moving off someplace else. And Sodak will just keep digging until Ziz shows up. And then when Ziz shows up, he just starts laughing. He thinks it's the funniest thing in the universe. He thinks it's absolutely fantastic. So they show you, while you're there, what they found. This is the strangest tower you have ever found. And as far as you can tell, they have uncovered the top of it. And it goes down into the earth. And it's full of weird metal furniture, strange devices sitting on desks. You don't know what any of this stuff is.
Is it round, like most towers would be?
It's square.
Square tower?
Yep. And they're only into 1 or 2 rooms, but they think it's square. They found a corner, and they dug it out. A lot of windows. And so it gives you the impression that this tower wasn't always buried. Because who has a window into the sand?
What is it made out of? What is the tower made out of? Is it stone? Is it...
It's some sort of weird, like, paneling covering the sides between the windows, and there's a plastering technique you're not familiar with, but there's a lot of metal and glass involved in this.
It's a modern building, but we don't know it's modern. Modern.
Mav is carpentry, right?
Yeah, he's a woodworker.
That is true.
Would he
The
be
metal
able to use...
is not wood.
What?
Tower's metal.
It's not wood.
Yeah, you said there was like paneling.
Oh yeah, it's not made of wood though. It's a weird. It's a weird. It's like a hunk of wall slapped on a wall, but this piece of wall on the wall is dry. It's like this drywall.
Here's my thought. Your skill is building things like habitats.
Sure.
Would you be able to use your dwarven, whatever that's called?
This is way too foreign.
It's too different. Okay.
Nope. This is the weirdest room you have ever seen in your life, and that's what they've uncovered so far. There's a couple of doors leading out of the room, but they haven't dug them out yet.
Is there any can we see the tower from the outside, or is it basically just where we can only
No, it looks like they've uncovered a space on the roof that has a door that leads down. It's almost like there's a small concrete room that sticks out that has a door to a stairs that leads down to another door that opens up into the space that they've now cleared out.
This is great.
You know how some buildings have, like you can tell like Roman architecture, you can tell Japanese architecture. Is there any like design motifs that we'd be able to like with a history check be able to gain any insight on?
Yeah, go ahead and make one if you want.
You know what you should do is see. You should see if it's magic, or if magic maybe put it here.
What's his?
Tabby would. Oh, I just lost Discord. Well, you're probably hearing me on the laptop, not my.
Oh yeah, yep, on the laptop.
Not on my other one. Weird. Alright, I should be back on my main one now. So, you can, Tabby would tell you that the entire area, the building itself, radiates low-level magic. And she points out that this is where they got the glass for the cage that they built for the spiders. As they pulled it out of the windows here. Oh, did I lose everybody? I can't hear anybody. Hello? You can hear me. I can't hear you guys, though. Well, that's weird. What the heck? But my pick froze. You're all frozen, too. I can see you all laughing on the laptop, and I know you can hear me there.
Holiday that is nowhere near where we actually are.
I don't know. These things are random sometimes, but I've come to learn that they're as not random as sometimes they have seemed to be.
Alright, can you guys hear me?
Probability. We can hear you.
Okay. Alright, yeah, I can hear you guys too. So, did you hear me tell you that Tabby says the whole building is slightly magical, and this is where they got the glass panels they built the cage for the spiders out of?
No, we have heard the spiders, but they didn't hear.
Yep. It's all lightly enchanted to keep from environmental damages.
Okay. Did you say anything about the history check?
What'd you roll?
22.
22. You saw similar style structures when you dropped people off at Round Town. On the inside of the Dyson Sphere in the Astral Sea. It took you a second to recall that, but you're like, oh. But it's not quite the same, but it's similar. The concrete, the glass, the large windows.
You said they excavated basically like the top portion that we found. Well, you didn't use the word concrete, but an alcove that had a door to the inside of it, and so the whole inside is preserved, like it's like traversable, like
it's full of dust. It's full of sand. So the inside is not traversable until they dig it out, but they are in the process of digging it out. That's what you told them to do.
But the magic is preventing things from like decaying, basically.
Correct.
But it's still full of sand. Okay,
yep.
I got it.
It's like cockroaches.
So that's what you found out about the building. You guys can stew on that and think on that. There's not much else to learn this week. And Ziz takes you across the desert. You go down the road, past your friend's keep, pick up the main road, and then cut across the desert south of there to come in north of the Hive Spire, and even from what is the name of that city? Pergasa, you can see there is a black cloud swirling around the Hive Spire. You can see it from miles and miles away. From the distance, it looks like a storm cloud. As you get closer, and Ziz in your head starts to get very uncomfortable.
Can you remind me what is Ziz's history with the Hive Spire? I always thought he didn't want to go there because it was like cursed or something.
No, he lost his antenna.
Right.
And so he can't communicate with the song.
So it has nothing to do with that it's bad there. It has everything to do with that he is kind of exiled from it.
Basically,
yeah.
he's the one entity in the hive mind that walks around not connected to the hive mind.
Okay.
And so it's kind of an exile, but it's not really. He's not forbidden to come back. It's hard to be there.
Right. Yeah.
It was more of a self-induced exile.
Yeah.
Yep. So while you guys are traveling across the desert, Ziz is getting more and more uncomfortable, and he tells you that there is no song.
Wait, he can still pick it up and communicate it.
Well, no, he could feel it going on, but he couldn't understand it. It's almost like how a deaf person would feel bass.
Okay.
He says there is no song, and as he's communicating that to you, and this was going to be an encounter, but we're going to skip it. A group of tricrine riding scorpions comes up on the side of you guys and starts to attack you guys. You strike a defensive position, and then a mob of them on foot come after the other ones, and there's this giant tussle and battle, and then after it's over, they all just flee.
Oh. Okay. Can we have a long rest?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I assume that this is all wrong.
Yeah, this is wrong.
I don't necessarily know. Yeah, I don't necessarily know how it's all wrong. So would Ziz be able to share with what?
He would tell you that it seems like they're feral. They're wild. Is a better expression. There is no consistency or reason to what they're doing.
Okay. Does he still want to come with us?
He will come with you closer.
Okay.
But he says he is starting to feel very uncomfortable, and it's not in an emotional sense. It is in a physical sense.
Would we, because we're connected to him mentally,
Mm-hmm.
Would we be at risk? Is what I'm asking. Here's my thought, and maybe I'm wrong on this. And I'll even share this with Ziz in any kind of way that I'm able to. But if what made them feral or wild is it? It's clearly not just being disconnected from a song, because he's been disconnected from it and he's fine.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost as if something is, instead of, almost like the hive mind is making them, or something similar to it, is forcing them to be crazy. So if he's getting uncomfortable, is he at risk of that? And because we're connected to him, are we at risk as well?
It's funny, every once in a while you see him do a very humanoid thing, like a normal humanoid, not a bug humanoid, and he just looks at you and shrugs, and it's completely non-tricrine. It's just like, I don't know, head tips to the side, the whole thing. He's picked it up from being around you guys or from others. Yeah, he's not sure. And then in his mind he would communicate that he thinks we're okay for now.
Okay.
He doesn't know, and he points to the cloud, and now that you're closer, you can see the sand beneath the spire as well as just writhing with tricrene. So, and then he would explain to you that the workers are out of the hive. Workers never go out of the hive. And then he points to the cloud and he says that the warriors are flying above the spire, but there's no pattern to their flight. He doesn't know if this has ever happened in his species' history.
I'm gonna guess this has something to do with the Pentat or one of the other coping Let's go help.
Yeah, I mean they're aggressive.
Yeah, well,
Because they came and attacked us.
They did, but it was a very weird attack. Like
Yeah.
it's say there's a tricrane riding a scorpion. Well, instead of trying to hit you with their stinger or grab you with their claws, they just ran through you. Then dug back into the ground and came up in a different place. And then when they fought each other, it was a almost comically nonsensical battle.
Yeah, like they're attacking without the idea of tactics.
Yes.
or they were playing during combat.
Ziz doesn't think they'd be blind.
They were after I got done with them.
Most likely, actually. He just keeps giving you the sense that he thinks they're more confused. Like, imagine having your every task directed for you, even though you kind of had a choice on how to do it for yourself, and then all of a sudden, not. There's no direction.
Isn't those spores? Is it that brain spore?
What?
Cordyceps?
Oh, the one that turns them into zombies?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Ziz, don't breathe.
Ziz, do you have cordyceps?
Tell him not to breathe. He slaps all four of his hands over his mandibles.
Yeah, so that actually brings up a good point. Like, I'm afraid, like, I don't know, but has he been on way so long that, like, he would be maybe immune to this? Like, I don't want something, like, I'm concerned for him. Like, whatever's happening to, the Hive Spire that he used to be a part of, like, I'm nervous that it might have an adverse effect on him, like, if he gets any closer or the more that he's exposed to it, whatever it is, if it's something that...
Let's send him back to the tower then.
Like, does he like kind of share those same concerns? Like, does he understand that could be a real possibility?
He does, but he doubts your ability to help without his guidance.
Okay.
But also at the same time, he's been disconnected, so...
I know, that's what I was saying. It might not affect him, but I'm still kind of concerned about it.
Well, I just mean in the sense that he's been disconnected, so he should have a memory of acting like this if their singular problem is that they're disconnected. You know what I mean?
He thinks that they're all trying to figure out how to stabilize themselves. And so they're trying to carry out certain tasks that they normally do, but it just doesn't make sense to them to do it.
So just like there's something extra at work.
Okay.
Alright, well, press on then.
Yeah.
So he leads you closer to the Hive Spire, and every once in a while you get dive bombed by a warrior that comes zipping down out of the sky. They're not difficult to deal with. Almost every time you can basically just sidestep them and they will plow straight into the ground.
Let's just try to be non-lethal on these guys.
And then they'll just get up, scurry around, skitter around, and take back off and do something else. And you see now that you're closer to the swarm, you see them just diving out of it every once in a while, or sometimes even flying straight up. You see a few of them fly straight up, and they just keep going till they stop, and then kind of you could see they're falling at this point in time back to the ground. And somewhere along the line they wake up, but they just have no clue what they're doing. They're basically flying high enough to remove themselves from oxygen, and then falling back into oxygen.
Does it seem like they're like birds that aren't being guided by the
the magnetic compasses of the world.
That would be a fairly apt, like, analogy for it. There's more mayhem to it though. But seriously, if they were by your new building and the building wasn't buried, they'd be flying into the glass. No questions asked. Every last one of them would be birding into the windows. So then, like, he takes you down and you scramble down the cliffs into the bowl of the Spire, to where all the workers are, and they are just seriously just milling about, bumping into each other. They start to bump into you. Every once in a while, you'll see one of them try to accomplish a task for one of the others, and they'll pick up a stone and move it, and then they'll wait a minute and they'll pick it up and move it back, and the other one right in front of them will pick it up and turn around and move it somewhere else, and it's they don't know what they're doing. They are just acting.
You have logs?
It's a little bit of that. So he takes you into the Spire, and seriously, without him there, you'd be lost in here for weeks. The twisting and the turning of the tunnels, he seems to know it like he was here just yesterday. But you guys, there's so many bends. Like a normal bending passage in like the dungeons you're planning on building underneath Granite Back Keep, and the rooms down there would have 2, maybe 3 side branching passages that would all have purpose. These don't seem to have purpose, but they obviously do. But they're just in a fashion that you can't get a hold of.
That reminds me.
Yeah.
Especially with seeing how all this is all caverned out.
Mm-hmm.
Just look over at Diz and be like, "Can you help us with our underground caverns?"
He looks at you and huh? He shrugs, and then he starts zizzing and laughing, and then he does something you've never seen him do before. He coughs.
Does it biceps?
Lesser restoration. I'm gonna try it.
What does he sense about it?
What do you mean? What does he sense about it?
Like, why did he cough?
He just genuinely coughs. He doesn't necessarily sense anything about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
But he doesn't know why he coughed.
He has never done that before in his life.
Does he feel okay?
No, he does not.
No, he coughed.
You will in a minute. Give me a second.
So you cast Lester's Restoration on him. Feel good, buddy.
I was like, did you make him high?
Use my cousin. Give it a second.
And short. Where? Hold on, my map's broke.
Oh, think you ready to have to kill Ziz?
No, don't do that. No, I'm not ready for that. I'm already really sad. And I don't want this to turn out worse. Please don't make this turn out worse. I'm genuinely sad having to watch like his race unfold in front of him, and now I'm like thinking about how hard that must be, and how
Make a persuasion roll.
absolutely crushing that must be, and I'm like, man, if that happens to him too, I just might quit out of sadness for the night.
I don't want to say I won't do that to you now, but that is a compelling argument for me not to do that to you. However, that is an achievement as a DM for you. Lester's Restoration definitely helps. You cast it on him, and he shakes his head, and he shuffles his wings a little bit, and then he pats Jeffrey on the head and gives him like a tri-crane thumbs up with all 4. Turns around and starts walking further down, and then just stumbles and kind of tips over.
Well, that didn't work.
Do we know where he was leading us to, or are we close to it? Wherever it is?
In your mind, he basically asks you to help him walk. And he points ahead.
Assume that whatever this is only affecting him, correct?
At the moment, yes.
I would like to polymorph him into a different creature.
A different colored sprite.
No, something non-bug, so that he can.
Oh, really, man?
No, something smart.
Turn him into a were-tiger.
No, I'm gonna turn him into a hound dog.
You can see he's shaking.
I'll ask him first.
If you think it'll help.
He's the only one being affected by whatever's happening, right?
Correct.
So yeah, I'm gonna see if turning him into something other than a bug will
And
make
as soon as you cast polymorph, then it coughs.
I will happily polymorph you.
No, you turn him into a hound dog. He tells you that it's worth a try.
Yeah.
And you turn him into a hound dog, and he just kind of looks around, very confused for a moment, and then he's scratching at the ground, and he spins around, chasing his own tail for a sec, and then he sits down and then he shakes his back, and you feel like it's the thing he's trying to do with his wings, but he does it with his back. And then he shakes his head no, but he hears his ears flopping, so he picks his head to the side, and the one pops up, and he looks at you, and he looks really confused. But
give him descriptions. He is the goodest boy.
He looks healthier. You don't know if he likes being a hound dog or not, but he does look like he is no longer suffering from whatever was ailing him.
Awesome. That's good.
So here's my question. We are still telepathically connected.
Yes.
But is he even intelligent enough at this point to communicate back to us?
Of course.
Smart.
Hound dog, he's smart enough to. Yeah.
Dogs are not smart enough to talk.
Nope.
They're smart enough to tell you what's wrong with them.
It depends on the dog breed too.
I thought polymorph just changes your form, not necessarily.
No.
Wild shape changes your form. Polymorph changes your mental stats as well.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
Here's my question. I have speak with animals.
Yeah.
So is that something where I need to?
No, it would be the same effect.
Okay.
Yep. So he's got a general concept of what's going on. He's confused. But it says you retain your memories and personality and that stuff. So he's got it. And he kind of just puts his neck out and he points, and then he starts sniffing on the ground, and he scurries down through some more tunnels. It does look like he's got to work a little harder at the junctions now as he leads you guys down. But he seems to figure it out pretty good. And after a moment, you get to a lower section in the Hive, and you know it's low in the Hive because the Hive is in the middle of the driest desert that you guys have on your continent, and there's water dripping in certain places.
Oh.
It's cool, it's damp, but everything down here is broken. It looks like there was just recently tremors, and stuff has fallen and collapsed in certain areas. And so you come into this room, and you see, and I don't have a token for it anymore because I put it in there a few weeks back, and now I don't have it.
Chamber where their queen would be.
Yep, it is definitely the queen's chamber, and it's not a good sight. What you guys?
By a black soul blade?
No. No. She's not held by a black soul blade or anything like that. But she is.
Does she have the head of a lion and the tail of a snake and the wings of an eagle?
No. She has sitting on top of her head. It is obviously she's a massive tri crane. She's a gargantuan creature, and she's got one of those huge ant termite egg butt things going on. And it wraps around the whole center of the room, and in several places around her there are driders that all have tridents stuck into her. And there are several that have their talons bent around and grasping her face.
Does it look like they're casting spells or feeding?
It is making a con check.
I'm alright at that.
it's kind of hard to tell. You definitely think there's something magical going on here, but it's pretty hard to tell exactly what the deal is.
Do we feel as though we've snuck our way into this space, or do we feel as though we've definitely been seen?
Well, the way she turns and stares at you as you come into the doorway of the chamber lets you know that they probably know you're here.
That's good.
Freaking John Wick.
Did that not link for you guys?
No.
I gotta poop.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. I gotta prove too.
Well, shall we go? Like, does this get or provide us a feeling like removing the Driders from his queen would be the best?
The way he's shrieking and barking at them, yeah, probably.
Okay.
It's like, are we still in here? And this is dog barking. Well, probably not.
Well, then I think that this would be appropriate again.
Sounds good. You guys go ahead and roll initiative.
The best meme that only 4 people in the world will remember. That's good enough. Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
It was a nice try, Adam.
I don't know what the deal is going on.
Nothing
I like works.
For Great Weapon Master, it says that one of the things on it is if you score a critical or reduce a monster to 0, you make an extra attack with a bonus action.
You can do that with your blades without spending your bonus action.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Before we go to the top of the initiative order, can I cast a bonus action?
I am going to say no because this all starts to unfold right as you guys come around the corner. Sorry.
Okay, no, that's fine. Don't go running up just yet.
Okay. I really want to put these 2 new toys to work, though.
I know you do, but I want you to have as much effect on with those as possible.
Great. I will stay put. Unleash the hounds!
The Hound.
Oh,
You're not that one.
you make him into like some massive.
I was about to. Yep. Don't you worry. I got this.
Oh no. Okay, and I need to get Ziz in here. Boy, I don't have a lot of stuff from my reformat. Okay, I'm gonna have to work on that. Sorry. Oh, yeah, he's not there.
How powerful do we think this is?
You need to like survive whatever's going on.
No, not as himself. I'm kind of trying to figure out a challenge rating.
Oh. I don't know. I feel like he would be like. I mean,
He's a hot dog at the moment.
He's about a level 7 follower, so a CR 7 creature.
Thank you, sir.
It's like I don't know how to answer that.
Mike answered it. We're good.
Yeah.
I didn't know what level any before. I haven't looked at any of those notes, so
I just know he's awesome.
he's about to be more.
Awesomer.
Yeah.
Okay, so this grid does not line up perfectly,
Yeah, I see that.
but I have now set the grid down and I'm going to lock the token size, so it should work fine.
To remove the grid.
Yeah. Locked it.
Jeffrey, why are you a cowboy?
Like, you don't have a picture.
I do.
No.
No, you haven't had one for me this whole time in the combat tracker.
Really?
It's right here. I see it.
I don't see it either in the
That's
combat
weird.
tracker.
Gosh, I can't. I gotta fix this stuff. It's driving me crazy.
Yeah. Try to go to both.
You're the green square.
Oh, that's weird because I'm definitely not a green square for me. I am me. It's my token.
You are now gone again.
Oh well.
All right,
Also, I love how you're saying that like I did something.
Jeffrey, you're up first, buddy.
Where is Ziz on the map?
He is right in front of the group. You should be able to see him. He's right next to you.
Gotcha. I only have 2 tokens on my map, so.
What?
Oh boy.
Really?
What?
Oh, I suppose, yeah, I'm missing... Who am I missing?
Did that help?
I have everybody. So there should be 5. I have all
I've got
of us.
this and me, and that's it. So,
And then there's 4 drivers and 4 spiders. Swarm insects.
well, if you're going to move me to the back of the group, let Ziz be out in the front, and I'm going to turn him into a giant.
Well, that's so weird because I don't have. Yeah, even on the recording one, I don't have you guys on there. How
Hey, we
strange.
have our movement thing on.
We have our what? I can't move,
We have
can
to
we?
request movement. Oop, and I just closed the map.
Oh,
Bye, Matt.
I moved fine for me.
I just turned it off.
Oh, okay. Sorry, now I'm messing with it.
Okay. I'm going to turn Ziz into a giant ape, and then I'm going to, oh gosh.
Can you guys see? I'll see the enemies.
I see them all.
4 S's and 4 drivers.
Okay, yeah, that's weird. Let me try and redrag your tokens onto the map.
Sounds good.
Well, I don't see Fennec's token on there.
Do you see tokens now?
I see.
Yeah.
I see 3. I don't see Fennec's.
That's weird. Okay. Well, at least we got more than we had.
Yeah. I am right next to you, man. You don't see my token at all?
Whatever you say.
God, it's weird.
I don't see it either.
And you guys don't see Ziz?
I see Ziz.
I see this
Okay.
on here.
I see everyone except Adam.
That's just bizarre. I don't know what to tell you guys.
Yes, yeah.
Alright. So you turn Ziz into a giant ape.
And move to the back of the group to make myself safe, and I'm going to kind of hunker down behind it.
Okay, there is a chasm. It's not real deep right there, so if you fell down in it, you'd barely take any damage. But it is a split in the ground.
I will not. I will try to not fall in the split. Ziz now has 157 hit points, an armor class of 12, and hits like a Mack truck.
Sounds good.
So if you want the giant ape to battle with him since he's still under your control, by all means.
I'm going to open a giant ape and I'll roll out of that.
Yep. And then I will bonus action inspire. Who wants to use Spire? We're gonna go with Ziz. I'm gonna say go get him, monkey boy.
He rears back and starts pounding on his chest, and then looks down and scratches where he should have 2 more arms. And you turned him into a humanoid, and he felt a little bit more like himself because he's a bit smarter now. But now he's still missing arms, and he just looks at you and he's like, "Huh?"
Get him. Rip him apart.
Okay.
Use those big monkey paws.
All right. So Swarm of Spiders is gonna come over here. I need to make him.
Look how he is a paw down, he's just gonna paw the guy.
Make this bigger. And Swarm of Spiders is gonna launch 2 attacks. One at Fennec, one at Ziz. That is both gonna miss.
He's certainly smarter than the frost giant I introduced last everything.
So can I read that one that he missed?
You could.
Okay.
Is Fennec in that square?
Yeah. I mean, I don't see
He's in the square next to where you made the square.
Oh, I see.
He's in that square.
That's where I'm at.
Okay. We'll just.
Oh.
Oh dear.
Oh.
It's my first time using him.
Go ahead and re-roll that.
Oh. Well, he did. So 17 will hit the Swarm of Spiders.
Okay. Well, there you go.
This is my reaction to remove your 1.
Sounds good. Oh wait.
Oh.
No. Sorry, I didn't set up the reroll stuff on that yet. That one gets rerolled.
Okay, reroll it then. Oh.
Yeah,
My
dude.
gosh.
And it's not resisted unless it is resisted.
Why is it resisted? This is just a basic Swarm of Spiders that I gave a lot more hit points. Oh, because it's a swarm of small spiders skittering and crawling everywhere.
Oh,
It resists certain kinds of damage because they're a swarm. Oh, that's really interesting.
I believe slashing damage for all swarms is half.
Makes sense.
It's all damage basically.
Oh, is it? That's fun.
Yep.
Oh.
think bludgeoning is the only thing that's not.
It's not. It says bludgeoning right here. So
Oh, dang.
I will add another 5 to that though. So I'm gonna reduce their hit points because I didn't realize they were resilient like that. So you guys won't have to worry as much. So the resistance will play itself out to be equal damage.
Okay.
Alright, Swarm 2 is going to come in and launch 2 attacks at Ziz.
Are these like eggs and stuff around?
Yes, there are eggs everywhere in this room. And Ziz is going to have a swarm of bugs crawl on him and do 9 points of damage.
Got plenty. This will be okay.
Bam. And let's see how all 4 of my Driders are going to go. So you watch as each of the Driders jams their trident deeper into the queen.
I have a feeling we're going to bring some people with us.
All 4 of their turns. I need to get my note sheet out. And okay. Ziz is up, and he is going to charge over here. He's going to definitely take the opportunity attacks. He does not care. 2 of those are going to get him.
He has a bardic inspiration, which means he's got an additional plus $1.
Okay.
Stuff.
Alright. Until he uses it, which
Until he uses it.
he is going to attempt to attack Drider 1 and grapple it. Where'd that big monkey go? Makes 2 fist attacks, so he's going to make 2 grappling attacks. That's a nat 20.
Yes, baby.
And that is a 16 plus 9 for a 25. So he's going to grab both of the Driders, and because he has them both, he's going to smash them together.
Excellent.
That's so awesome.
For 24 points of damage to each of them. That's Drider 1 and 3.
That's awesome.
Mike, does that include the crit damage? Or?
Oh, no, you are correct. That is not include the crit damage. Let me put 3 more d8 in there. Hopefully d10s.
Crit him against one of his items. Oh, great. He critically grabbed him and smashed him into that other dude.
Yeah.
As a giant monkey bot. This is
Alright.
the most useful I've ever been in a fight, guys.
Alright.
Jeffries doesn't do a whole lot of combat.
Othig, you're up.
Cool. I'm not going to provoke opportunity from number 1 if I move straight in a straight line, am I?
Should not.
Okay, great. Then I'm going to move up to Drider 1.
Drider 1 is up on the queen's head, which is about 30 feet above you.
Well, I could just run some of that distance and then use my boots to get up to him.
Sure can. So you jump up and you land right next to him.
Sweet.
Actually, he's a little lower than that because Ziz is now holding him.
Okay. I should have asked before. Do we have our keep boom?
Yes, you do.
Okay. I'm not going to use it just yet, but I'm going to make 3 attacks against Drider. Got 1 again. Hey, can you help that?
No, he used his reaction.
No, I already used it. Oh, no, it's been... No, I can't use it. Never mind. I don't know.
Oh,
why
no.
I attacked one already.
Oh no. Alright, so Othig, unfortunately you stumble off of the slippery, slimy queen, tumble to the ground and knock the wind out of yourself. You are going to lose your next turn.
Okay. I'll do my first 2 attacks then.
Yep. If you hit with your other attacks, do your damage there.
Yep. Okay. Re-rolling. Yeah. Let's see if it did.
Okay, you rerolled your 1 into a 10 and a 2 into a 1.
No, I rolled the 1 into a 2.
No.
Yeah, it would have been a 1 into a 2 because he had got a total of 16. Oh no.
It already is a 16.
Yeah.
4 plus 5 is 16. Anywho.
Yeah.
Swarm of insects?
Yeah, I got 4 and 1 coming up here.
So did it actually re-roll?
I don't think it did.
So unless I re-roll it into another 1.
But then it should say D2 equals 1. Not D2 equals 2.
I would think you're going to get swarmed by one of the spider piles, and it's going to have advantage on you.
Yeah.
And it's going to, I'm guessing a 21 hits you, right?
Yeah.
And then a nat 20. So you're going to take...
Damage.
Yeah, quite a bit here.
That's a lot of damage. Wow.
Oh no, it gave me the crit value of that automatically. And I added all the crit dice to it. I was like, it did not do 77 damage to you.
Swarm of spiders. Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
I would have been okay with that.
It did do 45 to you, however.
Hey, Panic, are you going to roll initiative? Wow. Sure. I honestly just assumed I was last. That's fine. I'll just be last.
Yeah.
You're literally the worst.
That's so super funny that that just happened. That
I kept seeing my name at the bottom, and I was like, yeah, that's where I'm at.
Even after Andy posted the meme.
Oh man, that's quality right there.
Flabbergasted glasses.
All right. So that's it. That's all the damage you take, and that is all piercing damage. And these guys do not have a poison. So.
Oh, right. Sorry, I thought it added it to me. How much did you say? 45?
45. Matt, you're up.
I am going to yell at Othe that I told him to wait before
you did.
Ran in. Then I heard him, and you said, okay.
Yeah, you're right. You're totally right. Hey, I don't have many moments like this, though. I think I'm allowed one.
And he's laughing.
I probably deserve that.
Panic.
Mike, I don't know. We had talked about this, and I don't know if you built him, because then you kind of went on vacation next time.
Yeah.
But I would like to summon a mana elemental.
Right on. So it functions very similarly to an air elemental.
Okay.
Except it's got a little bit more juice to it.
Okay. I don't have a stat block for that or anything.
I do. Don't worry about it.
Okay. That's fine.
I could not have blinded Strider 1. He's having 2 level spells at a time.
Oh.
So instead, I'm just going to shoot level 1 with the cantrip.
Okay.
What spell did you use?
The holy weapon.
Oh, you ran over by Othig and touched him.
I touched him while he was paralyzed.
It was a holy touch, don't worry.
It was a very holy touch.
So I would like to summon it over by the Driders.
So holy, he's emanating radiance.
Right on. My tokens really bother me. It seriously bothers me.
Can you
take the
remove
11 of that? Gosh, tonight. What a night.
No. Can you remove all that damage from it? Because it should be 3d12.
Alright.
I'm not sure why.
What did you hit? Drider 1.
Drider 1. I don't know why.
Did an extra 2 radiant.
Because you put holy weapon on yourself.
Oh, it only goes on myself then. Oh, that's weird. Okay. Well, let's do this first.
Okay. I'll just put that back. Yeah, you know, that's tonight. That's how it works. That's how tonight works. In case anybody's wondering.
Does the so that's the end of my turn, but I don't know if the man elemental would go
On your turn.
I mean, so does he have a turn right now, or does?
Yes, I'm gonna give you both initiative of count of 1.
Okay, that's fine.
So, what do you want him to do? Attack the Drider?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want him to use his slam attacks, or do you want him to use his mana whelm? He can basically, similar to a water elemental, encase somebody in liquid magic and drown them.
Oh, let's do that.
Okay. So he is gonna move into this guy's space. Oh, he can't. They're the same size. It's gotta be smaller than him.
Oh, okay. So then, So then just a regular attack. Basically, the intent is to get him off of him, get him off the queen if you can. Okay. Otherwise, just keep attacking.
All right. So one of them is gonna hit, and he is going to do boom, 18 points of bludgeoning damage. And that's both your guys' turn. Joe?
Jeffrey is going to come out of hiding, is just going to give his blade a quick kiss, and then he's going to cast,
Blade kiss?
No, I can't remember what it's called. Steel Wind Strike. And he's going to attack the 4 swarms and one of the dragons.
Nice.
Dude, how could you forget such an awesome spell?
I just forgot his name. I would like to remove that 1 using my react. Oh no, I don't have to use my react. Just reroll. So that's a 2.
Still not gonna hit.
Keep the targets I have and roll damage.
Boom.
2 10s and a 9 in there.
Mm-hmm.
So Drider 1 goes down.
And that is, oh no, I appeared next to him. Am I able to appear on a solidish circle on top of the queen, or?
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, I would. You're fine. Yeah, I don't want to do that. I mean.
And then I will.
Why do you appear next to him?
What's that?
Why do you appear next to him?
That's how Steel Wind Strike works. The last person you hit, you appear within 5 feet of them.
Oh, and that was the last one you hit. Oh, it wasn't. The last one you hit was Spider's number 2.
Oh, Yoki. I don't know where that is.
That is the one that was closest to you.
I can appear there, and then I can sneak away from them. No, I won't, because they would get an attack of opportunity. Or did they already take theirs?
They did.
Alright, so I'm going to move back to my little hidey hole, and bonus action inspire. Who needs it? Oathig is rolling like crap. We're gonna give it to him. Oathig, do better.
Thanks, man. I'll try.
Hey, anything for you. So for until you use that, you have a +1 on your shots.
I think after you saying that, I will do better.
Yep. So
Not on this turn.
make sure you change your modifier to a +1, Ryan.
What's that?
In the corner. Change your modifier to a +1.
Awesome. Thanks.
All right. So, the swarms, Thanak, you have spiders just crawl all up in under your armor, and they do mean, terrible things to your bits. It's a horrible experience. And all of a sudden, you remember that time you made fun of Jeff when he had a cockroach trying to get to him. And
Inside of me.
yep. And you take 8 points of piercing damage from those guys inside of you. Oathig, you're gonna get hit twice by these guys.
Why did Oathig get hit for like 80?
Because he got critically hit. And he got hit. I had advantage on him. He got hit 3 out of 4 times and got critically hit by one of them.
For whatever reason, my head was like, I got hit once for like 80 damage.
No.
Good Lord.
When he crit.
No.
Full
Yeah.
damage.
I rolled.
Okay.
How did I roll? That's 16. I rolled 16d4 on him.
Okay. Yeah, I saw all the D4s and I was like, that's scary. All right.
So, oh no, I just rolled that on Mav.
Got him.
Othig, you take 20 points of damage. Mav, you get 20 points back. Let's see. And then let's see. Drider 3 is preoccupied by Ziz, but
First night back.
4 and 2 are not. So 4 and 2 are going to continue to hit the queen.
And you said 4 was like way up in the sky, right?
It's no, 4 is being just held. 4? What?
Drider 4 is like on her face, right?
No, that
Like-
Ziz. You guys killed that one. These ones are on her back and on her legs.
Oh, okay.
So Drider 3 is going to attempt to stab Ziz and then bite him. He pulls out his trident and he takes 1 shot, 2 shots. I think both of those are going to hit the monkey.
Did I get attacked or only got 12?
Yeah, you got attacked again for 20
How
points of
much?
damage.
20.
Oh, okay. Sorry if you said it.
It's the damage Mav took, and we were busy yelling about him attacking Mav. No, Ziz. How dare you? Don't hurt my monkey.
Alright, and then it is his turn. He is going to use the Drider as a makeshift weapon and begin pounding him into the swarm of spiders that are biting at his feet. So he has disadvantage on his attacks, but he has a fairly decent sized plus to his attacks. I gotta drop the last.
10 right now.
Yeah, all of those are going to hit the swarm of spiders. So you'll do equal damage to the Drider and the spider swarm.
I love my monkey. We need to bring this guy everywhere.
And that is.
This is way more useful than when Filbert became animal. Just saying.
Alright. Othig, you're unfortunately getting yourself up this round.
Yep.
And then
I just inspired him. I would dang it. Did my inspiration help him at all?
nope. Spiders
Yeah, but
4.
also stand up really
How
high.
do you do that?
Crit the monkey and then almost critically miss the monkey.
Oh, dang it.
Alright, and then Spiders 1 have advantage on Othig because he's still laying on the ground. Othig, that's another crit. But I did miss you with the other attack. So.
So that's a rough life, man.
Alright. Mav, you're up.
Now, chase that through over here, and wish the Driders the best as he tries to make them see blackness. A darker black, so there you go. Man! Well, number 2 is blind. Yeah, that's all he shall do.
Alright. Man, I'm Elemental going to continue to punch things.
Yep. Still just focus fire just to stay on 2 or whatever one
Okay.
of attack.
2 that have advantage against.
I just rolled double nat 1s
Oh,
with advantage.
I know, right?
I'm so proud of him.
That's terrible.
You know how you feel.
So he recovers, so that's good. And
unlike some people.
then he will miss with his second swing, though.
Say,
Look, I recovered. It just took a round, okay?
So he had advantage on both hits and missed both.
Yep.
That's low.
I feel like this got out.
To be fair,
It's not helping me. It's my mana element. I think I'm gonna have to just run some.
to be fair, Driders have a very high AC, but
my Adam Lentils. I like Adam Lentils.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. I am going to, as bonus action, cast Shadow Blade.
Okay.
And then, move there.
that can look like your maul if you want. It doesn't have to be a blade.
It doesn't matter.
I'm just saying.
I mean, that's fine. I was imagining Cyblock with her
Shadow Spear.
Oh, it could be a Kren spear too.
Use a spear.
Sure. Anyways, it doesn't matter. And I'm gonna. Oh, I should. How about I attack first?
You buds.
Press the wrong button. So that hits anyway. So that 19
Psychic
to,
damage?
Yeah. To Swarm Spiders 2.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot I had that. Oh, can you add 4 to that?
To both of them or just the one?
Just to the very first one.
Okay.
Because I forgot I had the force to.
That swarm is down now, down to 1 attack.
Got him.
Oh, that's 3.
Wait, which one are you adding to?
Sorry.
Oh, I get it.
I shrank the wrong one.
That's fine. Okay, cool. And then, that's it for that. That's it for me.
There is like 2 spiders of that swarm still skittering around.
Okay.
So, good job.
Okay, thanks.
Job, you're up.
I don't know where Thanek is on the map.
I am 4 squares underneath.
I will move the square. Boink.
Thank you.
Mhm.
So that kind of messes with that.
So that ruins everything.
No, I was just gonna use an area of effect.
Are we going to use Thunder Wave?
I was gonna use.
The room full of Tri-Creen eggs might not be the best place to use
I
that.
was gonna go with an AoE as well, and then I decided against it specifically.
Maybe I should just absorb a ton of magic and explode.
I totally missed that. I missed that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I specifically asked if there was a bunch of eggs around because I was gonna AoE, and I was like, wait.
I was waiting till somebody went to use an AoE, and I was going to warn you, but.
Okay.
I appreciate it. Is there? Oh no, that's not good. I have no spells that I can use. This is insanity. I'm just
Is
gonna
that when you like targets members of his own party and just preface it by saying it'll be okay.
It'll be okay.
I'm just gonna brain pain the spiders and.
But did you die?
Did you die?
You gonna get the hurt group?
Spiders 2 is they'll fail.
Okay.
And I will psychically brain pain them.
Yeah. You killed the 2 spiders. Good job.
With all 3 ones.
Listen here, all of my other spells are concentration or AoE, and I don't want to lose the monkey. He's doing
No, I mean in reality you killed the group of spiders, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Did one of the updates trigger more ones? Because seriously.
So funny. Alright, Othig, you're getting swarmed again.
I was gonna say I will fire.
Am I actually up?
You are not yet.
Oh.
Thanek, you
got all excited.
I'm gonna get you once, Othig.
You're gonna hit me some more?
Yep, for 11 more.
Yeah.
Let's see then. 2 of the Driders
still on the ground.
are gonna hit the
I'm
Queen.
not on the ground still. I was last round. Now I'm standing up.
The Queen now looks very badly wounded by these Driders. She's gushing like all sorts of bug pus and blood and goo. So and 3 is actually
I'll help with it.
and then 3 is going to use his attacks on the monkey.
Okay.
So 2 longswords. One of the longswords is going to critically hit, and the other 2 attacks are going to the bite will hit again. So bite, and then longsword or trident, not longsword. All right, monkey is still up. Still chugging in there. So he's gonna hit some things some more.
Go, monkey, go.
He's actually gonna miss the swarm with the first attack. He just instead of hitting it gets a little too monkey and just swings him around a bunch. But then he comes down pretty hard on the next one. Good. That's 27 points of damage. He comes down real hard on that next one.
Gosh, he's hitting so hard. I love it.
It's a big giant monkey. They hit hard, man.
3d10 plus 6 damage. That's a fist if I ever saw.
Yeah.
That's like Tyson against a child.
All right. Othig, you may now take your turn.
Yay!
Excellent news.
You have 1 more point of damage than.
Oh, my modifier goes away after every roll. Whoops.
Yes.
I forgot about that. Oh, that is.
Yeah. So if it becomes an issue, let me know, and then just add 3 or 1 point to all your rolls of damage.
It's just the hits.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just D20, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
It ups your proficiency by 1.
Oh, that's right. It is
I don't even know if it'll
proficiency.
take 3 to down this thing, but I guess. Oh, I might because
You can always swap it to the other one.
Not the magic damage.
Yeah, the magic damage.
Up the magic damage. Jeez.
Nice.
Wow. That swarm of spiders has a lot of hit points.
There are about 2 spiders left.
God dang it. I will brain pain them.
So
Dang it.
close. So close.
Dang it.
All right. So Swarm 4 is gonna attack Ziz twice, and he's going to hit and miss. And then Othig, you're gonna get attacked 4 times,
Oh no.
but they don't have advantage on you anymore. Oh, the one's only gonna be able to roll once on you.
Can't do parry anymore.
Nope.
Correct.
That's a trade-off. You have to be using 1 pole arm to be able to parry.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get hit 3 times.
Until I learn how to parry like that monk did with people.
You're gonna need a level of monk to do that.
The guy was
29. Mav, you're up.
Mav,
huge.
I'm concentrating on the holy weapon.
Oh no! Put it back. We're doing fine. Oh, that's really good.
I saw what was humming there. Oh my gosh, you guys, if you put 1 more of these swarms to 1 hit point, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
I know what you're gonna do. You're
You
gonna
just give it to us because you said sometimes you do that.
Sometimes I will, but I think a swarm isn't where I give it to you. I give it to you on a cool epic boss fight. Not on a peon swarm of spiders.
Yeah.
I like that. I'll take that.
But Mav clears out a bunch of... Mav, you watch as you do this, what you've done, even though you have chosen to eliminate the queen from damage, you watch as thousands of spiders begin pouring out of her mouth, and she starts screaming and flailing around, and they're popping out of her skin in places, and they're dying the minute that they try to flee. But
What about the spirit guardians?
right, they're killing the spiders that are inside of her.
Okay.
Right?
She's filled with the spiders.
It's pretty gross.
Yeah.
Yep. So
We might want to heal her.
she's not looking great.
What I said.
Well, it's a shame our only healer.
It's killing her.
None of this was supposed to hurt her.
Yeah, but you didn't know.
Take that.
What did you just do?
He killed a swarm.
So I'll have the elemental with Drider 2 again.
Okay. Let's try and do better. No.
He's still.
Yes.
He's still. Blinded.
Oh, he is still blinded. Okay, so the first one's a yes. It is so much easier for me now that I'm not running 2 instances of this on 1 computer to drop stuff on the things, and I got to remember to do it. So he gets that guy twice then. Alright.
Good job, medicine elemental.
Thanic.
Drider 4, how high up is he?
He's within reach.
So if I was next to him, I'd be able to hit.
Yep.
So I will take the attack of opportunity from the swarm.
How many are left in that swarm? Oh, they're still a good size. Oh, that's a nat 1, so not.
So I'm fine.
Yep, you're fine. And I will move Thanak box.
And then I will go after Drag 4.
That's gonna miss. Yeah, they have very high AC.
Don't forget you have a
I had.
roll it. Use it for that last one.
Oh, that's right.
D10.
Okay, cool.
You will lose it for the second one, but
Sure.
it won't matter. Just put the number.
Yeah, you still hit it.
Mike, I can still use the second win bonus action.
I'm going to
Yes.
re-roll that one. We'll use the inspiration to re-roll that one. Is that what it is?
No, you add it.
Oh, add it. Add a D10 to that. Will that make enough of a difference? I'd have to roll high. 6.
Because you missed with 2 of your attacks.
No, I missed with one of them. Well, yeah, the third one was first and the third one was.
Ryan, if you use like your bonus action like that for second wind, you have to drop one of your D8s off your attacks though. You only attack with one arm then, basically, while your bonus action.
D10.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay.
Hang in
Just
there, buddy.
On the last attack or on all the attacks?
All the attacks, because you use your bonus action to do double attacks.
So I would just treat it. Okay,
As regular.
Yep.
Where are we at?
That's all I'll do. I'll keep inspiration for later.
All right, cool. Jeff.
Oh crap, we're back to me.
Yep.
Well, all right. Ready for that. Monkey's still looking okay. So I don't need to do anything with him. Yeah, I'm just gonna bring in pain.
All right, do it. Oh, nice. Oh, that was a saving throw. I thought it was an attack. It was a nat 20. I thought you attacked him. But I got excited for you.
These ones are not effective.
Hold up. With what? Your stick?
I don't melee. I am not that guy. I guess I'll just hang out.
Alright. 2 attacks on Othig. That's gonna miss. And that's gonna miss. That's nice. 2 5s in a row. Let's see. 2 Driders are going to attack the queen, so she doesn't look like she's gonna stay up much longer. And then a bite on Ziz. That will get him. Not for much though. Ooh, it's a nat 20.
Where does this go? Ooh, we're getting there.
That was a terrible,
Would they call the queen a human?
no, she is out of the category of humanoid.
Oh, it doesn't say it has to be humanoid. Ooh.
Alright, so monkey time. He is going to smash. He's actually gonna drop this guy. And he's gonna run over
Got him.
here and grab
Rowan
these
instead of
2 guys. No, because that would be an action.
Oh, gotcha.
And he is going to use his attacks to try and grapple these guys off the queen. That one's going to miss, unfortunately. And that one has advantage, and that one is unfortunately going to miss too.
He's still inspired, isn't he?
He is.
Oh, I'm gonna spend a D10 and try and make that second one get him.
Well, I mean, would a 19? Because he'd have an extra 1, so would
A
a 19.
19 will grab him, so he flings this guy.
Okay, then he
off.
doesn't need to use inspiration.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't. I could use it on the other one, though.
You could.
And so he now pulls them both off. And
Get him.
got them off and over here. Oh, sorry. I can have him hang him over here.
Yeah.
But,
Hang him in the circle.
yep. Oh, Thing, you're up.
Okay. What's going on with Free? He's just over there. Is he actively attacking the queen?
You don't know. He was dropped by Ziz so he could go grab the other two.
Okay. I'm gonna take the opportunity of attack and move over by him.
Okay. That's a nat 20. I know. I'm sorry.
Is this the swarm that
Alright, bye.
Does the queen look like she's cognitive?
At the moment, it's hard to tell.
Wow. Okay.
Maybe healing, by the way.
I just saw that the queen is a priority.
I have got the queen. You get Ote.
Ote's handling himself.
No, trust me, I've got the queen. You get Ote.
Trust me, it's okay. I'll help with the queen.
Alright.
What's to happen? Ote dies?
I mean,
it's not the first time.
My master. Gosh, I hope we never.
If he wasn't diddling around for a whole round, it wouldn't be an issue.
Did you just say diddling?
Yeah, he did. That was a great use of that word.
See? Ote's fine. There's not even anything by him.
I'm going to run to Drider 2.
Where is the queen in all of this as far as, like...
She's kind of in the middle of all those stones.
That's what I thought, but do we need to worry about, like, occupying the same space?
No, because she stands up above that, and like her egg sac kind of hangs from the ceiling. It's suspended, so you can get under it. Yeah, it's very similar to that.
Wait, why did I roll it as bad?
Because he's blind.
Nice.
Because I haven't been able to unblind myself.
Yeah, that's good. Sweet.
Why is that a crit?
Because it's a 19.
Because it's 19.
No, it's a total of 19. It wasn't 19 on the dice.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Are you sure you're not falling off into a mode?
I'm really tired right now. I've been tired for like last hour.
Yeah, I watched you happen. I watched Ryan tired show up.
Okay, I get my other attack from Great Weapon Master.
Okay. Why?
Oh, because you killed something.
Oh, because you
I killed.
Yep.
I reduced that guy to 0.
Nice. Dude, nice.
Doesn't that use your bonus action though, right?
No.
I think it does.
Hang on.
I think it uses it, but you...
Oh, it does say bonus action.
Yeah, but what are you also using bonus action?
He was going to heal himself.
Yeah.
The reason he wasn't doing 2d10s.
Yeah, it is the reason I was doing 2d10s. Well, they're both grappled, so it's fine, I guess. I'll stay with just rolling the damage.
Okay.
Someone said they were going to try to heal me or something.
Alright. Mav is up.
I'll take my chances.
I believe the conversation was we weren't trying to heal you.
Oh, okay. Well, third grappled, that's fine.
Okay. So we're going to have the Spear Guardian's damage.
Oh. By half.
Yeah, why did I...
Saved. And then you can heal the queen. 23. Actually, don't do that. I lied.
Okay.
Because I
You can hurt the queen for 23.
I could hurt the queen for 23, but where's my healer's kit?
You know how to heal him.
You just slap it over the bleeding parts, right?
There were spiders coming out of her mouth.
I'm going to do this.
Here's a band-aid.
So she'll take a total of 36.
Okay.
Like, should I put that on my mouth?
That's real good.
Shove it right in there.
Okay.
That's legit.
It does. She's still heavily wounded, but you feel like barely. They did a number on her. All right, Mr. Mana Elemental, do your job so we can be done for the night. Boom.
You've had advantage like all night.
He's doing it now. He only really missed that one round was terrible. There, see? See? Look at it. He did a good job.
Nice.
I'm proud of him.
I'll move over there. Now I'll.
I mean, he'll remember what he did while he was polymorph, right?
Yeah, he'll remember it very clearly.
That's awesome. That's great. I'm happy he'll remember that he was a monkey and that he killed some dragons.
And saved his queen.
And was a hound.
He was a hound dog for a little while. That was a lot.
Oh, so close.
Yeah.
So close. We're gonna drop a smite on there. Just a smite.
A what?
A smite.
You're a what?
He's a warlock.
I am a warlock. Don't tell anybody.
Dude, what actual crap?
I really wanted that to be I really wanted that to be
68 force damage for Shadow Blade?
No, 48 for Shadow Blade, 68 for Eldritch Smite.
Yeah.
Oh my
Jeffrey.
gosh.
Who's clicking the pen?
Tony.
Hello, Tony.
Look at all of our faces.
Yeah.
The one that looks guilty.
I always look at you. That's not fair. I'm not going to do that.
Jeff, it's your turn.
The only thing I can do right now is rock myself to stay awake.
Does the queen still look like she's in a dire place?
No, she does not look dire. She looks hurt, but she does not look dire.
Oh. Okay, well then I don't need to do anything.
No, I told you I got it.
I was going to do something cooler.
Go fail
You
your
do it anyway.
attack.
Do a cool thing anyways.
I'm going to turn her into
Two back left.
Turn her into a different spider.
It's going to bring in.
Yeah, he can't have too much more.
The Drider?
Yeah.
I'll do the Drider instead of the Swarm of Spiders. Take the brain pain. Never mind.
Oh.
Oh man, what's your spell AC? 16?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because
It was 18 earlier.
No, it's 17. He just saved.
Yep. He just,
I know, but wasn't your spell save 18?
I don't think so.
Alright, so this swarm of spiders is gonna hightail it out of here.
Yeah, spider, they should.
It's had enough of your guys' monkey business.
Literally. That's awesome.
And this Drider has no choice but to try and stab the monkey.
Oh, also, what size is that Drider? What size is he?
He's large.
He's not prone. I forgot.
He's grappled by the monkey, so he's kind of
that's
immune
right.
to that at the moment.
Never mind.
Yeah. So let's
He's prone in the monkey's hand.
Yeah, so now the monkey's rocking him.
Aggressively.
Oh, if I could share with you the image of Peggy.
So he
I'm sure Andy will show us in just a second.
bites the monkey,
Monkey with a knife.
Let's see.
and then he stabs the monkey. And then
Monkey rocking a Drider like a baby. If that's out there.
monkey AC is 12? No,
Yeah.
he gets him.
What?
Monkey AC is 12. I'm rolling him on Ziz, but
Gotcha. Dang it.
oh, and Ziz transforms back into himself.
No more monkeys jumping on the bed.
Him and the Drider. So this now goes back to not dying, but where's he at?
Doing great.
No, he's
That's the wrong amount of damage.
Yep.
Dang, this is dead, y'all.
He's just gone.
He does have the.
What? Did he actually die?
No,
No,
he
I
just
think he's
transformed
okay.
back into a monkey. So he looks around and he whips out his pole arm.
Scimitars?
Whips out his what?
His pole arm, and he goes.
Is that what we're calling it these days?
Stinger.
His stinger.
I'm gonna hit him with my stinger. Yes.
Glad we all just became 5 for a moment.
Man, I'm always 5. I don't know what you're
And one more.
I'll make sure about that when I get a phone call. Wait, he actually talked to you like an adult?
Yeah, buddy. And so Ziz puts down the last Drider, even though he's not a monkey anymore.
Proud of you.
And
That
so,
might even be more poetic.
It is.
so there is a sound that a warbling style sound that begins to emanate from the queen, and it does look like she's coming back to her senses. She begins to vomit and she's just throwing up spiders. And you guys are watching as there are spiders, little tiny ones, not like the bigger ones that were in the swarms, but little guys that are just pouring out of these tridents that the Driders were using when they were injecting her full of spiders.
I'm going to step on them.
Then I just
I'm fairly certain Spirit Guardians.
starts running around, stomping them.
Spirit Guardians are just popping them.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, by the thousands. It's really a fairly horrible experience.
While
And
that starts coming back, I'm going to begin ritual casting Rary's telepathic bond so we can speak her.
okay,
Hey, Mike.
yeah.
Sorry, little side note. Is this thing okay because you are the one inflicting spiders and not being inflicted by spiders?
Pretty
That's
much.
because he's in control of them.
Yep.
Okay, that's
But
what I
I
thought.
feel like we had this conversation
Yeah.
a while ago.
Spiders really only freak me out when they surprise me. If I know it's there, I can even kill them now. But if they come out of nowhere and do that like zip down from the ceiling and shake their legs in your face, like I pee myself and run away screaming. I dive out of moving cars. Is what I do.
Real talk.
I jumped out of Pastor Chris's car while he was pulling into a parking lot once because a spider came down and grabbed my nose. And I just started screaming, spider, 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 and jumped out of the car.
Spider came down and moved my nose.
Could you imagine from this point of view how like glorious and brilliant that was for him to defeat the giant?
That's totally David and Goliath. David was the
Yes,
spider.
yes it
Down
is.
the nose,
All right.
Cassius skull.
Well, guys,
Like, what's this?
I will wrap the rest of this up on Discord after Rory's telepathic bond goes out because we have pushed our time tonight later than we have in a long time. So,
Yeah.
and I know it's because of technical difficulties and all that, but yeah. All right. I will see you guys soon.
This was a lot of fun.
Have a good night.
Successful?
You were successful.
Good.